Hello, everybody. Uh, First of all, before I go on, I'm posh as fuck. No, this cup's just hot, and I have sensitive hands. Anyway, I have no ties to China. The wife just teaches Chinese kids English. I've told her not to because they're gonna take over the world. She doesn't believe me. She will. Anyway, so I got a lot of I wouldn't say a lot of positive feedback about that depression video. And a lot of other people, reaching out. And first of all, I'm down. I'm down to talk, but I'm not qualified to help. But I appreciate you reaching out to me. So I really figure, and I felt good doing it. It was really therapy for me, because I build my life to be. I've set my life up to come across as strong and all that and powerful and everything else. And so my worst fear was to put my weakness on the internet and for the public to see. So I figure I would do that as opposed to someone else doing it, because fuck, if I can do that to myself, what's the enemy gonna do? Besides cut my balls off and feed them to me. There's always that, but that's kind of scary. At least I know I'd be full. Anyway, bad joke. So I figure, I've given up on like audio podcasts. When a friend of mine gave me a lot of really good advice, and I figured, okay, so fuck it, here we go. I'll do video, and one day I'll figure out the audio and do audio, and do audio somewhere and have the video here. Figure I don't really like long podcasts, like the 3-hour ones or whatever. Not that I don't enjoy them, but the problem is I don't know if it's a common problem for people, but fuck, I can't commit three. My two favorite movies in the world are Gangs of New York and Blade Runner, not in that order, switches on the day. They're both about 3 hour, like 2.5, almost 3 hour movies. If you include bathroom breaks and getting up to fix a drink, they turn into a 3-hour event. And they're I literally could watch. I've watched them dozens of times. I love them, but I could not sit and watch. I could not commit 3 hours of my day every day to enjoying them. And I think if you would talk about anything of value, if you're listening to anything, there's some podcasts like kind of like the H3H3 podcast with Ethan Klein. That's not really an intellectual banger of a podcast. But it's fun. I enjoy. They have YouTubers on. It's a fun thing, and they talk, and it makes me laugh, and But so I can turn that on and just kind of play it in the background and come to it, and I'm not gonna miss any life changing shit happening on it. Is what I'm saying. I love the podcast, but I can play in the background while I'm cooking dinner or driving or whatever, and then just, come in and out of concentration on it. I don't miss anything. But with someone like Joe Rogan or somewhere like that, where there are times where they're actually talking about some heavy shit that I. So I'd much rather condense it down to like 10, 20 minutes of, dense stuff, or at least semi-interesting things, than 3 hours of, conversation, with an hour of good stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna commit to making videos like this shitty webcam stuff. I will get a better camera eventually when I feel like it and I have money. But for right now, don't expect. I bought a mic. Come on. It's a pretty good mic too. I learned what grain was because in that depression video I was like, how the fuck can I hear my beard moving? And I figured out the grain thing on the back. I think I fixed it. Hope so. Anyway. Like these 10, 15, 20-minute videos. And if I feel extra spicy about something, I may go on. Or if I have a guest, we may just chit-chat for an hour. I don't know. We're figuring it out. So, yeah, I don't really have a topic for today. I've actually already recorded this video once. And I had a half-assed topic. And there was an actually really good topic, but I half-assed it on here. And I was like, you know what? That requires some more thought. It was just something off the top of my head, and as I started to talk about it, I was like, that actually deserves to be wrote down and explored before I open my mouth in a public forum about it. But actually, something. The same friend that told me about the audio thing, we talked about yesterday, and I think I can bullshit about it for 5 minutes and actually make this a video worth watching. So depression. So like we talked about yesterday, and the guy who talking about is a very intelligent guy, and I consider myself smarter than the average living room chair. So, and we were talking about why does it seem that dumb people don't get depressed. And I mean that sounds harsh, but let me rework that where I'm not being a dick. People of lower education don't get depressed. Which I think it's obviously not true. It's a kind of luck of the draw, but it really because I'm from the area of the world I'm from isn't exactly academic laden. It's mostly blue collar people and everything else, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's basically what I do. I'm not educated. I'm well read, but I'm not educated. And so I think but none of them seem to get depressed. They seem to just, they have their. I remember when we get sad, but none of them really seem to have a depressive problem, or at least they don't discuss it. And I really think that's the key word there, is that I think the same amount of people have the same feelings, but I think there is something that makes it worse about being able to analyze it, think about it. Because some people are just thinkers and some aren't. I know some very, very book smart, intelligent people that just aren't good thinkers. And I know some very, very undereducated people who are great thinkers. And I think thinking is a skill. Thinking is a talent, I think. But I really think that thinkers are more susceptible to depression than non-thinkers, because there is something to identifying that. There is something to be said for being able to self-analyze and go, oh, well, shit, that's what that is. Because before I figured it out, that was my shit. Before I figured out that's what was going on with me, I just thought the world sucked and everything around me sucked, and then I was an angry kid. And if I had never gotten out of that, I still held a job. I actually, held a pretty decent job. And even after I got off drugs, I was still kind of that angry kid. But I had a decent job. I had friends. I had and I could have stayed that way. I could have just been an angry person forever until I figured it out. And once I figured it out, it changed. I could do things. But I think there is something to that. I think that it would seem as though depression is kind of an intelligent person's burden, because but I really think it's everybody's burden, except that intelligent people and thinkers have the misfortune of being able to analyze it and identify it, as opposed to non-intelligent people and non-thinkers who just feel a certain way and go, fuck it, this is the way I am, But then again, maybe not. Maybe it is. Maybe there is something, an intrinsic link between IQ and tendency to be depressed. Or I don't know, but I think, in my opinion, from where I'm at right now, in my short time of analyzing, I really think that's, if there is a link, I think the link is being the ability to identify the problem. I knew a guy, not well. I wasn't good friends with him, but he went from having leg pains to dead in like a week because he had leg cancer. He had bone cancer, and he didn't know it. He went from just normal guy, everything's fine, to dead, and he had no idea until his leg started hurting, and he went and got an X-ray, and it was terrible, nothing to do, and he died. But I think, not saying he wasn't intelligent or anything. That could happen to anybody, but I think kind of with depression and with it's kind of the same thing. It's like, just because you don't know you have it doesn't mean you have it. Now, if you know you have it and you can do things about it, okay, there's something. But then, then again, maybe not. I really don't know. It's a thinker. And I know I have some very intelligent people in the network and in my circle, my social group. And if any of you would like to weigh in on that, I'd love to hear it. Some people way more qualified than myself. I would really like to hear what you say. So there's that. My wife's going to school, or was going to school for psychology, and I had her watch that video. I posted it, and I was like, "Hey, would you watch that? Make sure I'm not giving people terrible advice, because I really don't know. Not that I really give advice, but so yeah. But I mean, I should emphasize I'm not qualified to talk about any of this stuff. I'm just a narcissist with I have tea in my goatee. Anyway, thanks. I appreciate you. Have a good night or day or whenever. See you next time.